Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2823. It's Spinner Sunday, and we are getting back to some High Republic storytelling. This time we're looking at the High Republic adventures and the debut of a character, shocking but shouldn't be, I suppose, showing up, Jabba the Hutt. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So this is a two-part story, unlike what story arcs tend to be with these various comic series, and in this case it's coming from the High Republic Adventures, which is the series that has run its course from IDW. It's issues 6 and 7. It's called Mission to Bilbousa. Pronunciation. So Bilbousa is the capital city of Nal Hutta, the Hutt homeworld, and there's some sort of super secret diplomatic mission that the Jedi are on. They are responding to a request to meet, and this particular Jedi Master who's going along with two Padawans is a specialist in peacekeeping missions, and so they think there's just some sort of, diplomatic negotiation happening here. And I'm saying they because it's the Padawans Farzala and Court, who are characters who've shown up previously in the High Republic Adventures, and Obertak, I believe, is the master of Farzala, and Obertak's specialty, as we are told, is with peacekeeping and negotiation and that sort of thing. They are going to Nal Hutta on the vessel, so Affy and Leox and Geode are a part of this thing too, and yes, oh yes, Geode gets to have some fun in this. Now, this is a full spoiler podcast, so here's basically what you need to know about this particular two-issue story arc. So the Jedi have had an uneasy alliance with the Hutts through Myarga the Hutt, and Myarga is the sister of another Hutt called Scarabda, and Scarabda is the person who's alleged to have invited the Jedi to Nal Hutta to ostensibly do some sort of diplomatic negotiating because of the work they've been doing together. As the Jedi and the crew of the vessel are heading to Nal Hutta, one of the things that they remark upon is that Bilbousa is one of the few places on Nal Hutta where the Drengir have been successfully fought against. But things get complicated when it turns out that Master Obertak goes into a hibernation state. Has something to do with their species and how often they do it, and there's an implication that this could be going on for quite a while. So Farzala basically has to, for all intents and purposes, impersonate Obertak, not directly because they're different species, but the Hutts don't know the difference, and so yeah, that's what happens. And Leox goes with Farzala. They have to give up all their weapons and stuff, and it turns out that in the meantime, a bunch of goons go to the vessel and try to take over the ship, and those goons have been sent there by none other than Jabba the Hutt. And they managed to get control of the ship long enough to start firing on the arena where Scarabda is meeting with Leox and Farzala / Obertak. And Scarabda is like, yeah, you come in peace to negotiate? Why are you firing on me? And so they end up, running and scattering. And obviously, the people on the ground are like, oh, Leox and Farzala are definitely not here to negotiate with us. They're here to attack us. And so they get taken prisoner. And in the process of running before they get caught, they find out that no, as it turns out, the Drengir are still active on Nal Hutta and they're in Bilbousa as well. So yeah, things really are complicated. And so what you find out the story is that Jabba the Hutt is trying to make a move for power within the Hutts, and he manages to get wind, I guess, of Scarabda's plan to lure the Jedi to come to Nal Hutta in the guise of negotiating for peace, but really to help them fight the Drengir. Jabba is like, oh, really? Okay, well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of this situation and attack Scarabda and make it look like the Jedi and their helpers are doing it so that I can get more influence in the whole Hutt ruling circle situation and get his forces to help provide security and ultimately just kind of weasel his way into power. And in the meantime, there's some flashback stories of Master Obertak and Farzala talking about the nature of fear and about how fear is, not something that should be entirely avoided according to Master Obertak. Basically, he says, how can you learn to deal with fear if you've never experienced it before? And says that really fear is a great teacher because it gives you an opportunity to learn to master it every time it shows up. And this becomes part of the thinking going on in Farzala's mind as, they're trapped in these cages that are dangling over who knows what, and Farzala manages to get, all of the, Leox and Farzala free. And in the meantime, on the vessel, Jabba's goons are trying to find Affy and Court and Geode. Geode has shown up and then disappeared and shown up and then disappeared. And Scarabda sends Hutt ships to go attack the vessel. Suddenly Geode appears in the cockpit and out flies the Hutt ships. And Jabba's goons are just utterly confused and bewildered by this. And they're like, get that evil stone thing away from me. But Master Obertak very timely wakes up from that hibernation state, dispatches the goons, and when the whole plot is revealed, Scarabda's like, Jabba, those are your goons, what's up? And Jabba's busted. So, it doesn't go well for Jabba in this one. But how thrilling it was, even though he's disgusting. I know, he's just, horrific character. But it was kind of exciting to see, oh, look, he's actually in the High Republic story. And in looking into Jabba's background, it says, according to Wikipedia, that he was born in 600 BBY. So he's already 370 years old by the time we get to the High Republic Storytelling Initiative. And I had no idea. I mean, yeah, I know they live for a long time, but it had not occurred to me that Jabba would be kicking around in this, and here he is. So it seems like the whole peace negotiation thing that Scarabda was pulling was fake to begin with anyway, and I guess it's just as well because it doesn't ever really happen. They go their separate ways. And yeah, that's what you need to know about Mission to Bilbousa, which is issues 6 and 7 of the High Republic Adventures from IDW, and that is going to do it for this episode of the show on this Spinner Sunday. And it just remains for me to say, thank you so much for joining me for it as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.